Welcome, everybody. I'm Lisa Tomey Zonneveld and the manager of Prolific Pulse Press. So happy that everyone could come today to celebrate Roberta's book launch. And without any further ado, I'm going to jump right into the video.
I wanted to welcome everybody here today, people coming from, different continents and different places in the United States, coming to help us inaugurate this new book that represents a lot of the work that I've done for the last 4 years or so. And happy that my family is here, and it's a great, great time for me.
Roberta, what are you holding? What is
This
that?
is my heart
Oh, that's so sweet.
to show you how grateful I am for your attendance at this book launch.
That is beautiful. Roberta and I have been working on this book for a while. Perihelion actually came from a larger manuscript that Roberta sent me with several poems, and then between she and I have sorted out the ones that would be the most fitting for this particular book. So needless to say, there are a lot more poems waiting to be published, but these are the ones that this book, Perihelion, are the first selection of many poems that you're going to be seeing and hearing from Roberta. And I want to congratulate Roberta for this book and to express my gratitude for her trust for us to do the publishing of this collection. I also want to recognize the artist who did the cover art. Kelly Jackson did an amazing job. I think the cover, because the cover is the first thing you see. I think the cover started selling the book before anything else because it is the thing that people see first. And Kelly captured the poem Perihelion so well in the cover. And
Let me
so,
just say that while I'm interrupting, but Kelly also is responsible for the two interior black and white
yes,
illustrations, which also do the same for in each individual poem that she illustrated. And we were kind of on the same thought wave, and she did a great job.
yeah. Her covers always capture just what needs to be done for a book.
Thank you.
So I highly recommend Kelly,
Yes.
and she did a great job. She's working on the cover now for anthology that we've got coming out next year, and some of the people here are in the anthology, so including Roberta. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she puts together for that. So, but congratulations, Roberta, and we're going to go jump right in to celebrating with the spoken word of Roberta's poetry, as well as the poetry of the people who are going to be sharing. Will be sharing some of Roberta's work and also some of their own work. And we're going to start with Rebecca. She did that wonderful video of went to the doctor. I absolutely love that. And
And
Rebecca,
Rebecca,
yes.
yes.
Rebecca is going to be our first presenter. So Rebecca, whenever you're ready.
Hi everyone, thanks so much for letting me play. The first song I'm going to share is a poem of my mom's, I Went to the Doctor, that I put to music. Let me just check real quick that everyone can hear both the guitar and the voice. So if I'm playing, you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes that's tricky over Zoom. Okay, I'll just start by saying I'm so proud of my mom, and I've gotten so much encouragement and inspiration from her to express myself in music and poetry, and maybe one day I'll be sharing some of my own poetry. So this is I Went to the Doctor. I went to the doctor, he said, you've got a hole in your head that's making you manic. Get back to basics, eat only organic. Sprung me out of asylum, dosed with Klonopin and Xanax. My priest said I need religion, so I tried to find myself in Islam. I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor. Then close to complete collapse, my mental health was in pieces. I gave myself to Jesus, afraid to have a relapse, so wind up in prison. Almost free of substance, save the occasional indulgence. I'm vaxxed up, living healthy, avoiding notoriety, jazzed up on open mic poetry. I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor, I went to the doctor.
That was great. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's funny to see everyone clapping and being muted.
I gotta say that I changed. Oops.
I'm not sure. Okay, I changed the last line was jazzed up on radical politics. I decided if I'm going to distribute this anywhere, I might want to change that.
Can be tuned to the audience, I guess. Are we sharing our own pieces as well, right? In order?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll briefly share one that I've written, and this is the first time I've played it for anyone live, so we'll see how this goes. This is called She Taught Herself to Fly. She stayed up all night with a jug of iced tea, solving equations, learning Chinese. She bet on the future, on what it would be. She didn't need advice, but she turned to me. Asked for my opinion on her next move. As a woman with vision, she could see that was true. Could tell her work hard, don't settle for less, but the details were anyone's guess. She taught herself to fly, knew she was alone and the limit was the sky. Rose up fast with no need to explain, and world we knew was never gonna be the same. Her parents, they did what they could, night shifts, paycheck, and nothing for free. They gave her grit and independence, that's just how it had to be. The sun shone brighter, the lights turned green. When she set out on her own, they whispered, remember where you came from, but she kept her eyes on the road. And she asked herself how far was far enough. And I ask myself how far is far enough. She taught herself to fly, knew she was alone and the limit was the sky. Rose up fast with no need to explain, and world I knew was never gonna be the same. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa, for organizing. This is great.
Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Elliot, you're next. Elliot Rubin, the ringleader for poetry groups. You're going to have to unmute yourself.
Where is this thing?
Okay, here we go. It was a pleasure working with Roberta on this book. Glad I could put my little 2 cents in to help her. This is Roberta's poem called Cut Print. Cary Grant, Loretta Young, and the Bishop's Wife asked the director to film only their left profiles to capture to best advantage their fan magazine looks on celluloid. Impossible to do in the same shot. Sam Goldwyn said, if I only use half your faces in my blockbuster, in return you get half pay, which offer was politely declined. Herein a filmic metaphor for relationships. You need to allow the effect of your good as well as bad sides to reach full benefit and allow your co-star their share of the limelight. Life imitates art.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Thank you.
I'm going to read a piece from my last book, provocative beaten prose poems. Title is Beautiful Emma. I pass her farm infrequently. Today I saw the corn husks stand tall, ears full, ripe for harvest, waiting silently as I have waited for Emma to make a decision. We worked her fields together for years, a tall, thin brunette with piercing gray eyes. She is an oasis of beauty on a brown dirt farm with an outrageous charisma I couldn't resist. It wasn't an easy parting of ways. An old childhood friend offered me a job. It meant relocating and a huge salary, too. I asked her to join me permanently. I'm still waiting. Heartbreak is a tough thing to overcome when it's not even because of another person. She was married to the farm and hard work. A life of ease and luxury wasn't in her makeup. Over the years since I proposed to her, we occasionally talked. I tried to keep it light. Felt one day we would marry. I hope to be young enough to remember her name still. Today is a sunny, sad day for me. I have Emma in my car, in the back seat, strapped in, going to the pond on her farm where we swam on the muddy bank to spread her ashes on the soil she loved. Thank you.
Oh, wow. That was very touching.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Our next reader is Charlene Brown.
Hi,
Charlene?
everybody. I'm so excited for you, Roberta, and I am very pleased to be able to share 2 of your poems today. The first one I'll be reading is the title piece, Perihelion. The corkscrew tendril hugs the branch, teaching tenacity to spiky seed arils sunk in snow and blind night crawlers deep burrowed in streams of translucent pebbles. A largo of forgetting builds to a wintry cadenza, while cardinals roost in dense evergreens, force solitary strands of communion through the latticework of time. Decide which notes to mute or sustain for better or worse. Your choice to make, to people this pilotless planet. Camera eyes envision a sand dune with the semblance of snow in a glitter globe, where a photograph of a photograph in a locket holds a memory tethered by a single hair. The second poem that I would like to read to you today of Roberta's, I think speaks to her ability to capture the complexity of relationships and memories. Picking apples and stilettos. Memories on Mom's death. Not her fractured hip, cancer diagnosis, or when she spouted gibberish expecting we'd understand. The cancer was talking. It's her unself-conscious humor, cartoonish looks, bozo the clown hair, overdone makeup. When she dug out her car from a snow pile in flip-flops with a spatula, picked apples and stilettos, shoplifted small and large items beneath her bulging coat, squeezed into size 0 jeans, drove her convertible top down in winter. Wrote jingles for every occasion, put mayonnaise in everything, read me Dorothy Parker, brought me salty chickens on the subway when I was pregnant, kept her dampened ironing in the refrigerator, chain smoked, drove drunk, set the kitchen on fire, offered the fireman a hot toddy, lied when she could be caught, cooked matzo brie, slept naked, sung show tunes off key, stayed out nights, hid chocolate bars with the linens, suntanned relentlessly to look healthy. No novelist could invent this concoction of narcissism and childishness, nurturing, inspiring, sacrificing, empathizing, all traits consistent with mothering were not in evidence to my best recollection.
Thank you. Did you
Very well
also want
read.
to read
Thank
one
you.
of your own?
Yep, and then I have one of my own. I just wanted to give that pause for her work.
Thank you.
All right, and this one I wrote about my brother many years ago. Heroin. He descends the stair, drawn by gaunt youth. Death echoes through his voice, peers through his eyes, darkens his countenance. At 21, he embraced his black tar mistress again. I knew that while I saw death, a shadow close behind, he thought himself warm, alive. Brother, I want to grow old with you and laugh about rooftops, waist-worn t-shirts, declarations of ruling the world, about mustard sandwiches and spaghetti for breakfast. I want to help you remember the happiness that was, to remind you of family, to be wrinkled together when 6 years no longer matters. But I fear that this dream of mine, like a sweet smell on the wind, is forever lost to this tornado that has swept you away.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you so much.
Mm. Well, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Bill, you're next.
So I'm going to read anyway. It's home.
What the fuck?
We live at the intersection of Hinkle Drive and Hinkle Drive, which is to say, our abode abides in the Hinkle crosshairs, with affection, Hinkle Crossing. Since the appellation Hinkle is also awarded a court, terrace, and street, one wonders, I do anyway, who was Hinkle to deserve such honorifics bestowed upon him? Did he ever know? What were his or her, its pronouns? Our Hinkle nest is deposited smack dab in the middle of Charles Bossett's development of high ranch and split level post-war homes, which since sprouted cupolas, bump outs, garage conversions, dormers, sunrooms, decks, patios, circular driveways, mudrooms, and solar. I don't know what a mudroom or a bump out is. All testaments to creativity of the home dweller and the accretion of prices since the 50s, the Charles Bussett Hinkle designation give rise to a further query. What was the relationship between H and CB, with the former with no first name and binomial Charles? Does having a namesake, two drives and one each terrace, street and court convey less stature than a namesake development? It should be noted when denizens of Bossart refer to Bossart, other Bossetters and even Hinkletonians know whereof they speak. Charles Chaplin, great dictator, was an adenoids Hinkle, not adenoid Brassart, less mirth-giving. Thomas Paine, Clara Burton, and Napoleon's brother Louis, all former residents of Bordentown. Who was Borden? In which Bossart lies the informed choice to reside in Bordentown City, not the township, lower class Republican voting. The original school district comprises students from cities and townships. The city with nary a Hinkle, the configuration of the city's borough and township comprising a regional school district. It's peculiar to New Jersey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So I always wonder what to bring to these things. So I always bring a poem that Roberta likes. So I'll bring some chocolate cake. And my poem is, you often want the one you shouldn't take. Forbidden always looks like the sweetest. Remember what happens with chocolate cake. Afterwards, you'll know it was a mistake to polish off more than you can digest. You often want the one you shouldn't take. Dip a piece into the coldest milkshake, soggy, soaked, soft gulps help as you ingest. Remember what happens with chocolate cake. Bloated from an unnatural intake, stretched stomach pain, pushes for a time to rest. You often want the one you shouldn't take. Your belly rumbles, sounds like an earthquake, as thoughts of more sweets now make you feel stress. Remember what happens with chocolate cake as your gaze eyes stare at your high piled plate. You try to recall which bite could cause this. You often want the one you shouldn't take. Remember what happens with chocolate cake.
You know, I love that poem, Bill.
Thank you.
Such a funny poem.
I'm happy because I got to pick that one in his book when he was trying to do a tiebreaker.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Right, well, everybody likes chocolate cake. A day without a poem is like a day without chocolate.
You got that right. Thank you. Safraz?
Thank you. I just unmute myself. Just want to say congratulations again to Roberta. Your book is brilliant. Now, when I first I was fortunate to get a first kind of a glance at the book because I wrote the back blurb, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I was absolutely blown away because one of the things you got to notice about Roberta's poetry is the titles of her poems are absolutely fantastic. I'll give you an example. For example, picking apples in stilettos, drinking with my mom, social dancing on Neptune, for example. But the back blurb was something I kept saying to myself, God, I've got to make it better. I've got to make it better. And I've got to make it something that, of course, Roberta will like. So I've picked a poem From it was quite difficult, to be honest, to find something that I like, but you'll understand why I picked it because this is very kind of jazzy and very romantic, and it's called Autumn Finds Me, and I hope you like it. The hot summer stripped me bare, wrung me out, parched skin, sandpiper, hide face faded by glare. Fall dips the mercury, jazzes my mood with eager anticipation, feels like January. Autumn finds us, tots hiss past on bikes and scooters, kids in the street, abandoned phones and computers. Autumn enjoys its weather, communicates, delights us, breezes arc the trees. It's early September, pumpkin, lattes brewed to please. Moon chases sundown by 7, New England climb, apples near to picking, closed by Halloween time, clocks are switching. Autumn finds us, our seasons collect, shiny apples ripe on the branch, together in all weather. Neighbor to perfect, now ready for the branch. Thank you. And that's Autumn Finds Me. Okay, so I was kind of thinking, what do I read? As Bill says, what can you read on such an occasion? I'm going to read from on my book, which is called "Pardon Me, You're Stepping on a Poet." I think I took a leaf out of Roberta's kind of book there for the title. There it is, "Pardon Me, You're Stepping on a Poet," and I'm going to read Nightingale. There is a nightingale that flutters around me. She dips and bends, but cannot see. The flutter of wings, the voice of an angel that mystifies, beguiles me. But they just see a blur around me. It dumbfounds them, run rings around them, but they cannot see what I see. The majestic and the beauty. I see her plunge and dive, fly with such clarity. They cannot hear the sweetness of her voice as she sings, beckoning me to my knees, to hold hands and pray that this nightingale, this thing of beauty, never goes away. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Great. Beautiful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So thank you so much for your contribution to the book. Beautifully written. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you again to all of our wonderful speakers and musicians. And wow, what a celebration for well-deserved celebration for Roberta and her book.
Thank you.
And we're going to bring Roberta on now. Roberta, it's all yours.
Well, I'm glad to have this opportunity to acknowledge all the people who have contributed to the creation of my first book. I wanted to thank my family, my husband Carl, Kirsten, my sister-in-law, for careful editing, and Kelly Renee for doing the illustrations, which were so terrific, so wonderful, and the best I could have imagined. I want to thank Rod Richards, who was the first writing group first in-person writing group I attended, giving me very good constructive criticisms and giving me a supportive environment to write in. Elliot Rubin's 3 writing groups that over the years have given me friends and colleagues forging forward in poetry together. Doug Stuber, whose group I'm in, and also the Delaware Valley Poets, the US1, who also have a great poetic environment and a lot of amazing poets. I wanted to thank Lisa for taking the risk of an unpublished poet who had not published a book yet, giving me also a lot of advice and support. And I wanted to thank, finally, Safraz Ahmed, Charlene Brown, Bill Waldorf, Elliot Rubin, and last but definitely not least, my daughter Rebecca for her amazing songwriting. And it's just really great to have that as part of the book launch. And I'd like to read, hopefully do as much justice as the readers that we've listened to. This poem is called The Poverty of Metaphor. These things remind me of you, but don't summon you. The tides ebbing and flowing, changeable moon showing its lovely phases, footfalls echoing on pristine snow. And they, as you, won't appear in this poem. Metaphors of ancient rivers, mountains endlessly climbing, waterfalls cascading, don't conjure the complex emotions I feel for you, absent as you are from this verse. We roamed graceful hillsides, made promises, broke them, said tearful farewell to family, ecstatically welcomed births. Our years now measured 20. These snapshots, tarnished surrogates for you, will not be included in this or any poem. The poem. How your head tilts to me, shoulder supports me, footsteps forever follow. These are objects of life, not the subjects of verse. And like you, won't be mentioned in this poem.
Wow.
Little irony there. And this poem is called Tremolo and is written in memory of our friend, Carl's and my friend, Bliss Mickelson, who was an upright bassist and died from COVID-19 in 2022. The quartet, now in high register, mourns its bottom end, strings so bereft, unstrung. The F clef lives below the bottom staff, where bliss bows on, the upright and so righteous bliss, profound, deep in note and cadence, is gone. Low the vibration, sweet the sound, soprano, alto, tenor, bass. The resolution, the coda ends the movement. Finale. Thank you. The last poem I'll read is called 10-Year Anniversary and was written for my daughter and her husband, Luca, who are wonderful parents and just wonderful family. To my children and grands, closeted in my breast, you open my heart, stir the best of me. 10 years have passed since two parallel lines fused, charted new spaces, tiny constellations, congealed, formed, named, built, returned to the cosmos, the life to them, which to them was freely given. Two minor planets escaped from fleeting time in synchrony. As our weary sun incubates coming days, the heat sears the skin. These editions say your names, reflect your builds, wear your threads, speak your verses. Midday of the following day, my own years approach end. Time sparkles, paint out my shadow. The breadth, beauty, and depth of your characters give me peace. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you.
give our hearts right back to you, Roberta.
Thank you. This has been
So
so lovely this afternoon. Wonderful.
it has been. It's been beautiful to sit and listen to all this wonderful poetry and feel the wonderful spirits in this room of people who have a love for you and a love for your words. I really appreciate everyone for coming out today. And wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for coming out today and celebrating with Roberta. and we really appreciate you. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Thank
All
you.
so much.
Congratulations,
I love you.
Roberta.
I
Roberta.
love you.
Congratulations,
Let's make it a
Roberta.
bestseller.
Thank you, Roberta.
You can come off
Yes.
mute and give a round of applause to Roberta.
Yay!
Yay.
Roberta.
Yay, Roberta.
And thank you, Rebecca, for that wonderful rendition. I really appreciated
Oh,
that.
Yes,
yes,
Rebecca's amazing.
wonderful.
just wonderful.
Thank
Terrific.
you.
Everyone.
So proud of you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Oh, bless you. Bless.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, just wonderful.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.